The first cry in that mansion was not from the baby. It was from Evelyn. She ran into the grand living room in her red dress, holding baby Michael in her arms. Her high heels hit the marble floor, click, 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 like small gunshots. Robert! Help! He can't breathe. Music stopped. Laughter died. Crystal glasses trembled in rich hands. The giant chandelier above them suddenly felt like a cold spotlight. Robert King, billionaire, powerful, feared by many, turned into a terrified father in 1 second. "Call the doctor. Now!" he shouted. Emma, the maid, froze near the doorway with a tray of empty glasses. Her heart dropped to her stomach. Baby Michael's tiny face was swollen. His lips were turning blue. He gasped for air. Something was wrong. Very, very wrong. Everyone in that house knew one rule. No nuts. No peanuts. Ever. Michael had a deadly allergy. Evelyn clutched the baby and sobbed loudly. "I told her to be careful," she cried. "I told Emma. But she never listens." Every head turned. Not to the rich fiancé in the expensive red dress. To the poor maid in the cheap uniform. Emma. Her hands shook. "I didn't do anything wrong, sir," Emma whispered. "I checked his food. I swear." Robert stepped toward the small bowl on the table. He sniffed it. His face hardened. "Peanuts," he said quietly. A wave of gasps moved through the guests. Sophia, Robert's younger sister, whispered, "But this is a nut-free house." Evelyn wiped fake tears. "I saw Emma in the kitchen," she said. "She was on her phone. Maybe poor people don't understand what allergy means." A few rich guests nodded. "Of course. Blame the maid." Emma looked at Evelyn, and then down at her shoes. A tiny brown crumb was stuck on the tip of Evelyn's red heel. Not dust. Not dirt. A peanut crumb. For a second, Emma heard nothing. Not the music. Not the whispers. Just her own heartbeat. This was not an accident. This was a trap. But no one listened to the maid that night. To understand how this trap started, we have to go back to Emma's first day in that mansion. Emma stood outside the tall iron gates, clutching her small bag. Her shoes were worn. Her hands were rough. But her eyes were full of hope. She needed this job. Her little brother's school fee depended on it. John, the driver, opened the gate and smiled kindly. "First day?" he asked. Emma nodded. "Yes, first day." "Don't worry," John said. "Work hard. Keep your head down. You'll be fine." She walked in and felt like she had entered another world. White marble floors. Glass walls. A fountain in the middle, with water dancing under the sun. Inside, everything smelled like money. Perfume, polished wood, fresh flowers. Sophia came down the staircase in jeans and a simple top. She was rich, but her smile was soft. "You must be Emma," she said. "I'm Sophia. My brother said you're good with kids." Emma nodded shyly. "I will take care of baby Michael like my own." In the nursery, baby Michael giggled when Emma picked him up. His tiny fingers grabbed her finger. He stared at her like she was the only person in the room. And for the first time in a long time, Emma felt wanted. Hours passed. She cleaned. She washed. She folded clothes in quiet corners, invisible like a shadow. Then everything changed. The sound came first. Heels. Click, click, click. Evelyn walked in. Designer dress. Perfect hair. Eyes full of herself. She looked at Emma like she was dirt on a new shoe. "Who is that?" Evelyn asked Robert, who had just walked in. "That's Emma, the new maid," he said. "She'll help with Michael." Evelyn's lips pulled into a cold half-smile. "Ah, right. Someone cheap for the boring work." Emma's cheeks burned. As she walked past, Evelyn wrinkled her nose. "When you move around me, don't swing your arms so much," she said. "It makes the house look low class." Sophia frowned. "Evelyn, that's rude." "It's okay, ma'am," Emma whispered. Robert said nothing. He was busy. He was rich. Later that night, Emma heard voices in the hallway. She was folding blankets, hidden in a corner. Evelyn's voice floated through the air. "I don't like how that maid holds Michael," she said. "He smiles more at her than at me." "She's just a maid, Evelyn," Robert replied. "Don't overthink. Just a maid." The words cut deep. Evelyn's answer was colder. "People like her forget their place, Robert. One day, they ruin everything." Emma hugged the blanket to her chest. She didn't know it yet. but Evelyn had already decided to ruin her first. A few weeks later, the family doctor arrived. Emma stood in the corner, holding a small notebook. Michael's allergy is serious, the doctor said. No peanuts. No nuts at all. Even a crumb can be dangerous. Robert nodded, serious. This house is nut-free from today. He turned to Emma. Did you hear that? Yes, sir, she said. I will be very careful. Evelyn rolled her eyes. Relax, she told the doctor. It's just food. It's not just food, the doctor replied. It's life and death. For a moment, something dark crossed Evelyn's face. Then she smiled sweetly again. Fine. No nuts. The staff cleaned the pantry. Jar by jar. Box by box. Emma checked every shelf herself. Nothing with nuts remained. Days later, John dropped Evelyn at an expensive boutique. She sat in the back seat, eating from a small paper bag. The smell floated forward. Salty. Oily. Warm. Is that peanuts? John asked carefully. Evelyn quickly shoved the bag deeper into her designer purse. No. It's nothing. Just worry about driving. Poor drivers don't ask too many questions. John stayed quiet. That evening, Emma entered the kitchen and froze. Evelyn was standing near the counter, her back to the door. A bowl sat there. Something covered with a napkin. When Evelyn heard Emma, she jumped slightly. Then straightened, fake smile ready. Do you need help, ma'am? Emma asked. No, Evelyn replied quickly. You can mop the floor. Emma looked down. The floor was shining. Not a single spot. Still, she nodded and took the mop. As she bent, a faint smell touched her nose. Peanuts. Her heart skipped. No. Impossible. This is a nut-free house, she told herself. Maybe she was imagining it. That night, she whispered to Sophia. Sometimes I smell peanuts in the kitchen. Sophia frowned. I'll tell Robert, she said. Maybe some product slipped in. Don't worry. But she got busy. Meetings, calls, events, and the small warning from the maid's mouth disappeared into the noise of rich life. Soon, invitations went out. A huge party. Robert and Evelyn's official engagement. Everything must be perfect, Evelyn said to the staff. And Emma, if you mess up anything, you're gone. Her eyes were sharp, like a knife already pressed on Emma's throat. Emma had no idea. The mistake was already prepared. And her name was written on it. The mansion glowed like a palace that night. Fairy lights wrapped around the trees. Fancy cars lined the driveway. Inside, music played. Guests laughed. Cameras flashed. Emma fed baby Michael in the nursery before the party. She mashed his vegetables carefully. No sauce. No extra spice. Only what the doctor allowed. Sophia peeked in, fixing her earrings. He ate? She asked. Almost, Emma smiled. He's a bit fussy today. Sophia looked at the small bowl. Simple food. Good. You're always careful, Emma. I trust you. Those words gave Emma strength. Then Evelyn entered. Red dress. Red lipstick. Eyes full of ice. She looked at the bowl in Emma's hand. That's his dinner? Yes, ma'am, Emma said. Leave it on the table, Evelyn said softly. I want to feed him a few bites before we go downstairs. For some cute photos. Emma hesitated. Ma'am, I should stay. He cries with new. Evelyn's tone turned sharp. Are you arguing with me? Emma's heart dropped. No, ma'am. She placed the bowl on the small table and left for the kitchen to bring a tray, as ordered. In the hallway, her stomach twisted. Something felt wrong. But she was just a maid. And maids don't question fiancés in red dresses. Minutes later, the music downstairs broke with a scream. Evelyn's scream. Emma rushed down. Her world blurred. Baby Michael. Swollen lips. Difficulty breathing. Evelyn crying dramatically. It's the food. Emma made it. She must have forgotten about his allergy. Guests stared at Emma with disgust. Robert's face hardened. You knew his allergy, he said. How could you be so careless? I wasn't, sir, Emma whispered. I checked everything. I promise. Explain the peanuts then, someone said. Whispers grew louder. Jail. Attempt to kill. Poor people are dangerous. Emma felt the room spinning. Then, she saw it. The peanut crumb. On Evelyn's red heel. Sir, there's peanut on her shoe. The words formed in her mind. But her voice was too small. No one will believe you, Evelyn's cold eyes seemed to say. And she was right. Robert fired Emma on the spot. Leave this house, he said. We'll talk to the police later. Rain was falling outside when Emma stepped out. Her uniform soaked. Her eyes burning. But inside her head, one picture played again and again. A tiny peanut crumb on a red heel. She had nothing. No power. No money. But she had that one small detail. And a small detail can destroy a very big lie. At the bus stop, Emma sat shivering in the rain. Her life felt over. A car stopped. The window rolled down. Emma. It was Sophia. Her hair messy. Eyes red from crying. Get in, Sophia said. I'm not allowed near the house, Emma whispered. I don't care, Sophia replied. I saw your face. You weren't lying. Inside the warm car, Emma told her everything. The food. The kitchen. The smell of peanuts days before. The crumb on Evelyn's shoe. Sophia listened carefully. When I saw Evelyn earlier, she said slowly, she was eating from a small paper bag in the car. I didn't think much. But now, I remember the smell. Peanuts? Emma asked. Sophia nodded. Yes, like street peanuts. Her phone buzzed. A message from John. Ma'am, there was a peanut shell and a small trash bag in the back seat after I dropped Miss Evelyn today. Thought you should know. Pieces clicked. We need proof, Sophia said. How? Emma asked. Evelyn already told them not to trust me. Sophia's eyes hardened. Security cameras. They drove back to the mansion through a side gate. In the security room, Michael, the head of security, looked confused. Miss Sophia? Emma. We need kitchen footage from tonight, Sophia said. If Emma is guilty, we'll see it. If not, we'll see something else. He hesitated. Miss Evelyn said. And I am Mr. Robert's sister, Sophia cut in. Show it. He finally nodded and opened the files. They watched Emma cooking. They saw her carefully preparing the bowl. They saw her leaving with it. Pause, Sophia said. Now go forward. A few minutes later, Evelyn entered the kitchen alone. She looked around. Slowly took a small bag from her purse. She poured something into another bowl. Stirred. Then switched Emma's bowl with the new one. Emma covered her mouth in shock. It was clear, cold, evil. Michael, the security chief, cursed under his breath. I knew something was off about that woman, he muttered. Sophia's voice shook. Zoom as much as you can. They zoomed in on the counter. There, near the bowl. A small peanut crumb. Send this to my phone, Sophia said. And email it to Robert. Now. Yes, ma'am. Emma stared at the frozen frame. Everyone had ignored that tiny detail. But now, it was screaming the truth. Next step was the hardest. Making a billionaire admit he was wrong. And a maid was right. At the hospital, baby Michael slept with an oxygen tube near his nose. Robert sat beside him, eyes tired. Evelyn stood near the window, looking like a sad angel. It's all that maid's fault, she whispered. I told you, poor people bring problems. Robert sighed. He looked broken. Guilty. A knock on the door. Sophia walked in. Emma stood behind her. Robert stiffened. What is she doing here? He asked, staring at Emma. She should be in jail, Evelyn snapped. Before you say anything, Sophia said calmly, you both need to watch this. She connected her phone to the TV. The video started. The kitchen. The empty counter. Emma cooking. Emma leaving. Then Evelyn entering. The secret bag. The pouring. The switching of bowls. No one spoke. Evelyn's face turned pale. Robert's hands clenched. At the end, the video paused on the peanut crumb on the counter. Michael, the security chief, stepped forward. Original footage, sir, he said. No edits. Robert looked at Evelyn. His voice was low, dangerous. What did you do? Evelyn laughed weakly. It's nothing. I was just making soup for myself. Maybe a little peanut. In a nut-free house? Sophia cut in. Evelyn's mask broke. Her voice turned sharp. Why are you all defending her? She shouted, pointing at Emma. She is nothing. Just a maid. She doesn't belong with us. The words burned the air. Robert looked at Emma. At the girl who woke early. Who understood his son's needs. Who had no reason to risk Michael's life. Then he looked at Evelyn. At the woman who cared more about her image than his child. Security stood in the doorway, waiting. Evelyn, Robert said slowly, You tried to frame Emma. You risked my son's life. Just because you were jealous of a maid. Evelyn's eyes flashed. I did it for us. For our future. You were getting too soft. The staff was getting too comfortable. I had to make an example. By almost killing my son, he whispered. Tears filled his eyes. Not for Evelyn. For Michael. And for his own blindness. You will leave now, he said. And the police will see this footage. You can't do this to me, she hissed. I am your fiancé. Not anymore, he replied. Her red heels echoed down the hospital hall, but this time, they didn't sound powerful. They sounded empty. Evelyn walked out of that story just like that. Robert turned to Emma. His voice shook. I am so sorry, he said. I believed her because she was rich and you were poor. I let money blind me to the truth. Can you ever forgive me? Emma wiped her tears. I just wanted Michael to be safe, sir, she said softly. That's all. That's exactly why I need you, he replied. Not as just a maid, but as someone we respect. I'll raise your salary. I'll pay for your studies. You deserve a better life. Sophia smiled. It all started with one small detail, she said. A tiny crumb, and a maid who noticed it. Emma looked at baby Michael sleeping peacefully. She gently touched his small hand. Sometimes, she whispered, the smallest truth is enough to destroy the biggest lie. Outside, news reporters would later shout headlines about billionaire's evil fiancé and the maid who saved the baby. But the real story was simple. A rich woman who bullied the poor. A poor maid who refused to let a lie win. And karma, walking away in red heels. If you were in Emma's place, poor, blamed, and no one believed you, would you still fight to prove the truth, or would you just walk away to protect your heart? Tell your answer in the comments. And if you've ever seen a rich versus poor injustice in real life, share your story too.